Let us show love to this channel. Let us like this video, and we are in the journey to 9,000 subscribers. We are left with less than 8 subscribers, so that we'll be hitting 6,000 subscribers. That being that, today's video I'm going to tell us if Condad has been arrested or not. Let me start with this. In Kenya, a chief is not supposed to solve land dispute. And I've come several times and said that that job belongs to the land office and courts. So when you repeatedly see a chief being used in land matters, especially where foreigners are involved, that is not normal. That is a red flag. Because look at Fala Fashion TV land dispute. The other time we saw something like it was boundaries being removed. The next thing is now denied to access road. So that tells us something like a pattern, because the villagers are being intimidated with the like of chiefs, and I'm one of the people who is in the front line, so as to make sure that these people or these villagers are not intimidated by use of chiefs, because something fishy is happening in Nyabuhanse. Now, here is where it is getting interesting. Years ago, I'm going to play a clip where Trenchtown, Jamaica is approached by Condad during a road construction towards the villa. So he praises Trenchtown, Jamaica for development, then slowly steered towards land and factories. But Trenchtown does something very important, because when you digest that video very well, Trenchtown, Jamaican is somebody who maybe knows about the laws of Kenya. And Trenchtown does something very important. He refuses. He clearly says that his mission is not to buy land in Nyabuhanse village, but to change life. Even he told Mr. Ondari himself that if I want a piece of land, I can just go to the government, then I can be given that piece of land. And even he wants that people sometimes try to divert others from their objectives. Because now Ondari was talking about maybe giving him, actually telling him that he can gear to get him a piece of land, then they can build a factory, something of sort. But Trenchtown, Jamaican told him that my own plan is not about having factory or on what it is, to help the lives in the community, where that I can construct something like a center where children after school they go there and do their homework. So fast forward today, another foreigner follows a different path. Land is bought, procedures are allegedly skipped, and that is Fala Fashion TV. Then we can see dispute arise, and suddenly chiefs appear instead of land officers. Boundaries, access roads, intimidation claims. This is not about one person. This is about a pattern, and where pattern repeat, it's time to pay attention. So watch this clip, then we dive deep to the real situation and determine about Condad himself. Stay tuned.
You have said it all.
You have made us to be people.
Yes.
Without proper roads, we
Yes.
cannot do any other development. Like now, brother, I was thinking, because I've seen you be a great man. Let us initiate a given factory in the area that can observe quite a number of people who are jobless, so
No.
that they can have something to eat.
You know what my intention initially was after I left last year?
Yes.
Bring the
To
people.
get a piece of land
Yes.
from the government
Yes.
and build one square building
Yes.
and have that building divided where kids can come home and get their come home from school, get help with their homework.
Like
And I would call it a place just like a place I knew in Trenchtown called,
Okay.
and that place called Play Center.
You know what, brother?
But what happened is people tend to let you deviate from your objectives.
Yeah, human beings are like
Right.
that. Human beings. But let us not stop moving to the next level. Once we have our vision, not all people can have the same vision.
Yes, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what
brother,
happens.
If you have that vision,
yeah.
I'm able to donate land, me as a person, so that we can have that kind of a project. Not all people can have the vision you have, brother.
Yeah, well, we'll sit down and we'll talk, because I don't need any land for me, because to live in Kenya would be too far from my whole entire family. You understand? So I have no intentions of buying land or living in things. My intentions are to see if I could improve the lives
Amina.
of anyone who is less fortunate than I am.
Beautiful people, beautiful individuals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video of the day. And today's video, let me begin by saying this clearly. What I'm about to discuss is analysis based on publicly visible events, videos and statements. Some of what I will mention as allegations, not proven facts. No court has made final determination of these matters as of now. So for those who have not subscribed to this amazing YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment and share this video to other individuals. And let me appreciate all the individuals who support this YouTube channel both directly and indirectly. That being that, great things are happening and support the channel. That is what I can say. So this video is not a conviction of anyone. It is an attempt to understand patterns, system and risks, especially for foreigners investing in land in Kenya. We can see what is now happening. Mike Kizo has been left alone. Marwa does not speak, and Marwa is the one who made Fala Fashion TV to buy a piece of land in the village. Mr. Ondari initially intimidated the villagers using threats, using chiefs, and chiefs are not supposed to be used when it comes to land issues. Let me say this. In Kenya, land disputes are not the responsibility of a chief. A chief does not allocate land, does not determine ownership, does not resolve boundary dispute, does not decide access road. Because we saw Mike Kizo coming on camera then say that we went to the chief came and these villagers were okay. If that happened, that is against the law of Kenya. So land matters legally belong to the land, we call them land registry, the survey department, the land control board, and ultimate environment and land court. A chief may mediate minor community disagreement, but once boundaries are disputed, access roads are contested, ownership is questioned, so the chief must refer that matter to the authority. So when a chief is repeatedly used to handle land dispute, it raises a legitimate legal question: why not the land office? Let me say this. During the time that Fala Fashion TV came to buy piece of land, Maro himself said it publicly on camera and even reacted on it. Maro said this. He told Kizo this way: you would have told me that some people are there, they're bringing a lot of, you should not even have a surveyor in that land thing. What you could do, you could just take a chief, because the chief know everybody in this community, so they know them in and out. So that is what Maro was saying, but the law does not state, because that statement alone tells us that everything that is being conducted in that community, it is illegally, and it is now the actual time that the government has to investigate. We have lands that I don't know, they're saying it belongs to Jamaican uncle, Jamaican grandma, a lot of lands. I don't know other people. Now we have at hand a land that Fala Fashion TV bought. That land, Look at the documents that were used to buy that piece of land. There were some few individuals. Okay, if they agreed, well and good. If Fala Fashion TV trust those individuals, there is no problem. I have no problem with that. But that is not how you can own land in Kenya. We have that procedure. Let me say this about foreigners and land ownership in Kenya. Kenyan law is very clear. Foreigners cannot own freehold land, may only hold leasehold land up to 99 years and must follow strict procedures including approval and registration. If a foreigner buys land through locals using other people's name without proper lease registration, then legally the land does not belong to the foreigner regardless of who paid. That is not my opinion. That is constitutional law. And there is a game being played here. If Fala Fashion is clever enough, you actually understand what is happening about these. Actually, what is happening about this matter. Let me talk about the alleged pattern, because you see, like Trenchton Jamaican himself understands how the law of Kenya works, and he told, from the clip, he told Mr. Ondari that if I want a piece of land, I can go to the government. So that is how it is supposed to work. So what many people are now questioning is a pattern, not a single incident. The pattern being alleged is this: foreigners, investors are encouraged to buy land. Local intermediaries facilitate the process. Proper legal procedures are allegedly bypassed, and when dispute arise, chiefs are being used instead of land officers. When pressure increases, intermediaries go quiet or distance themselves. This pattern is not unique to one investor. That is why people are really paying attention. Let me talk about the Fala Fashion case, why it matters. In this case, Fala Fashion is a foreigner, and the land purchase allegedly did not follow full Kenyan legal procedure, so locals were used as intermediaries. Dispute land arose involving boundaries and access roads. So these disputes did not begin in court. It began on the ground with villagers. So that alone tells us something. Even though I talked about access road, the core legal issue, an access road that is not gazetted by the government is not a government road. If you do not purchase rights to it, register an easement, or contribute under agreement, then legally you may not have unrestricted access. So villagers who jointly own or maintain such road can restrict heavy use, including trucks. The reason why even Mike Kizo was initially denied access to that road, because when they were going there with motorcycle, they were very much welcome. So now they are now going with heavy use. So they're using trucks to take materials there. So the villagers sat and said, this is enough. This is not intimidation. This is property law. Let me talk about the allegation of using chief for intimidation. The allegation that chiefs have been used to intimidate villagers. Villagers were discouraged from questioning boundaries or access. So authorities was used to suppress complaints. So these are allegations, not judicial finding. But if it is true, this will be a misuse of administrative power, because chiefs are not land we call them adjudicators. Intimidation does not create legal ownership. So let me talk about the video that I played, because I just played the video but have not spoke about it. There is a past video that actually happened when Trenchton Jamaican came back for the second time, that many people are now revisiting. In that video, Trenchton is approached with an idea involving land and development. He clearly stated that his intention was not to buy the land, but to help children and community, emphasizing that the purpose of a property. At one point, he even warned that people sometimes try to divert others from their original objective. That statement is not something like I can call it like a hindsight. It is very telling. When he later told that land could be connected for a project, he declines and retaliates. Kenya and Jamaica are far. He said that his intention is not land ownership. His intention is impact. This shows awareness of risk. Let me talk about why Fala Fashion case looks different. Unlike Trenchton, Fala Fashion allegedly proceeded with land acquisition. He relied on intermediaries. He may not have fully navigated Kenya land law. That difference really matters. When disputes arise, the people physically present and legally registered as leverage. So foreigners who are absent do not. And that was what I can actually say. Another observation that people are making is behavioral, not legal. When disputes escalate, certain facilitators become silent. Some distance themselves from construction site. Responsibility appears to shift to others. Because we can now see Marwa himself has remained silent about this issue. Remember when Fala Fashion TV came to Kenya, the person who hosted them was Marwa himself. The person who were going through to show us the lands on the camera, Marwa was involved. But what is happening right now? Mike Kizo has been left with the responsibility to do everything that pertains that piece of land, which is very wrong. Because Mike Kizo himself was brought to the picture unknowingly because he's the closest person to Marwa currently, because the likes of Mayugno nowhere to be seen. The likes of Gitiriba not that much trusted when it comes to land issues. So, and why did Mike Kizo be chosen? Because Mike Kizo does not come from that community. So he saw it good. Let me use Mike Kizo to get all these things. So silence is legal matters, is not proof of guilt, but it does not increase uncertainty. And uncertainty is dangerous in land ownership. And let me now talk about the alleged arrest handled with extreme care, because there is an allegation that is circulating online that an individual connected to these matters was arrested for suspicious activity, land dispute related issues, and alleged misuse of investors' funds. Let me be very clear. These are allegations. No conviction has been presented publicly. Arrest does not equal guilty until court will speak. These remains claims, not facts. So, however, allegations of this nature are why transparency matters, legal process matters, and proper land registration matters. Let me say about why courts and land offices are avoided. And for these, Condad tends to avoid all these. If everything is legal, documented and clean, the land office should be welcomed. The surveyor should be welcome. The court should be welcome. So when those avenues are avoided and chief are preferred, it naturally raises questions, not accusations, actually questions. And if it is true Condad has been arrested, he deserves it, because what is happening in that community, and what I believe, people view these videos that we usually post, not that we are just making it like drama or anything, because sometimes we speak the way things are happening in the community. So we are trying to open even the government official. Watch our videos. And that's the reality, because we know some people, maybe they can be abroad, but they have that connection that what is happening in Nyabohanse is now becoming overwhelming. So they chip in and tell their friends or the government official that they know something is not right in Nyabohanse village. That's why even when there is an allegation like that, we believe that this is like the reality, because Nyabohanse is one of the places that we know a lot of shenanigans are happening. Yeah, so this story is bigger than one person. It teaches us a lot of things, because foreigners must never shortcut land law. The likes of Jamaican uncle who are being told that they own piece of land. With this calling me this one bado sijafika dukani. Kuna kitu nafanya kwa nyumba, nipatie kama 5 minutes na kwa dukani. So I'm saying that foreigners must never shortcut land laws. Let us follow the legal procedure in acquiring lands anywhere in the country, even if it is not Kenya, anywhere in this world. That is what I can tell people. And trust is not ownership. If you trust me, then you want to get a piece of land under my name. That does not tell us that you can fully become the owner of that piece of land, because I've seen that happening severally, where people actually conflicts become between the two individuals, or because this person, maybe you are not in good terms, this person maybe does something against your wish. I've seen that happening. Others try to acquire land through maybe marriage, which is legally correct, because your spouse can get you a piece of land under his name, because you people, we have that certification that you're married to a Kenyan, and you people understand how the law says you can still own that piece of land. So let us not take, if you trust anybody, you that person to get a piece of land. I'm not against that, because I've seen several times that happening. I'm not going to contradict it, because some people are like, let me get a piece of land through someone. So let me talk about, even chiefs are not land court. So when you get somebody like Condad, every time that there is anything about land shenanigans, he runs to the chief. Yeah, let the villager stand on their foot and tell the chief that enough is enough. You can no longer intimidate us. This is beyond you. Call the court, call the authorities who are responsible to these land issues, so that we can raise our complaint to those individuals. And for the villagers, you have to be sure, because some of these surveyors can be brought to the ground, because their family, let's say like the family that believe to be having a lot of money, then they can be manipulated. Get especially the government surveyors, go to the land offices, raise your complaints, then let them come. At least they could have solved the situation. Because the thing that can result why Condad, maybe the way it is being alleged that he has been arrested, because these people lured an investor, a foreign investor, to purchasing land illegally in Kenya. And that land, they know very well that that land is not rightful his, but it is theirs. That is why even I was cautioning my kids that you are gifted a piece of land. It is now your time to stand on your foot and tell the Condad family that enough is enough. Just do a transfer of ownership, because that now land belongs to me. Do a transfer of ownership. That is why when I was going even through my kids' comment section, a lot of people are telling him, why could you not buy a land in Uguja where you come from, so that you can build, or buy a land by yourself? Fala Fashion could facilitate that, and you use your documentation to get a piece of land. That is what could be done. So I've talked about access road and property too, and silence is not security. So that's why I'm telling people that say enough is enough, and most importantly, land ownership cannot survive a court process. It is not secure. Look at this piece of land. Marwa Condad involved on one side, Fala Fashion in between. Then we have maybe my kids of being gifted one piece of land from what Fala Fashion has. So when you see about it, now we have a dispute. Who is going to solve this dispute? Because even the land officers, when they are trying to look at this matter, it's like this matter is really complicated. Yeah, because this is now becoming another case by its own case. So I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to say this, that land law does not bend to friendship, popularity, or good intention. If somebody had a good intention of helping Fala Fashion TV, of helping Trenchtown, Jamaica, well and good. I cannot oppose that. And if allegations are false, court will clear them. If mistakes were made, law will expose them. This is why transparency is the only protection for villagers, locals, and foreigners alike. Let us wait for the real statement that will be coming from the court about Ondari, so that we get to know if it is true he was arrested and the allegation that made him be arrested. Goodbye for now. Let us meet in the next video. Goodbye.